This is this 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 is the Flash After Show. Let's get into it.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, I feel like I finally got that beat.
Yeah,
I got
the drop.
got the drop right. I was every time I'm over here like right off.
You know why you got it right?
Why'd I get it right?
Because I sent you guys the link to the song.
Oh, you did.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
That made
What's up,
my life.
everybody? This is the Flash After Show. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys for joining us again. This is season 6, episode 5 of the Flash, called Kiss Kiss Breach Breach. And there was a lot of stuff going on, but before we get into everything, I gotta introduce the people that are rolling with me today. First off, to my left, Shiksha Bollygirl. Not only are you the queen of everything Bollywood, but you're my go-to for anything superhero news. How are you doing?
Woo, I'm doing great. Thank you for the intro. Really excited to talk about Cisco today.
Yes, I am as well. And
Yes.
this whole episode was about him. But before
Yeah.
we talk about Cisco, we got to talk about the OG of the Flash panel. My guy who's in the chat, always rocking with us. What's up, Zach Silverman? How you doing?
What's up, Jeff? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Good to
Love
be
it.
here. Good to be here.
Always good to be here.
Yeah, man. And as you know, as people can tell, there is a person missing.
Someone is missing,
Drew.
I think, right?
Drew. She's in
Yeah.
Freeland.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Miss
Drew,
Drew.
Drew, our other host, is in Atlanta right now on the set of Black Lightning. So she's doing some big things. Hopefully, she will give us the tea and just tell us what's going on in Freeland and what's going on with this
She
crossover.
will be spilling the tea as
Yes.
I learned this week.
Yes, spill all of the tea, Drew. Spill all of the tree. I said tree. Spill all of the, you know what? Spill
tea.
all of everything. Tea,
Just spill
tree,
it. Just
whatever
give
she
it
wants to
all.
spill.
All of it.
She's gonna spill it. So, in this episode, we're gonna be talking about Barry and Iris, how they kind of dipped out for this episode. They were like, "Peace, we're good. We're gonna take this week off." We got Frost dealing with Ramsey. Whatever in the world is going on with that, she's like trying to talk to him, go with Caitlyn again. What's going on there? Then we have Cisco. This whole episode was really about Cisco, but his relationship with Camilla, his relationship with Breacher, his relationship with Gypsy. There's so much going on there. We're gonna talk all about that, and we're gonna talk about the new best friends that we didn't know we needed, Joe and Nash. So we're gonna talk about all of that. We have some news from Shiksha. We got meta tweets from Zach. We got predictions coming at the end. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. But what were your overall thoughts on this episode?
Well, anything Cisco I love, so I loved this episode. It was just really nice to see more of him now that Vibe is no longer there, and just to see him in his element almost. Yeah, I loved it.
Nice. Cool. Man, I got a mixed bag of emotions for this episode. I mean, one with the technical difficulties in the beginning, just kind of
That's
not really
true.
knowing what's going on. But, like, it's a tug at my heartstrings again. Like, I care for the episode. I don't care for the episode. There's things that I like, things that I don't like. So I'm just like, I want to say I'm down the middle. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it. But, we'll get into it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, we will get into it, and that is why I was kind of stuttering at the beginning in the
Yeah.
cold open, is because for most of the world, let us know in the comments if it was you as well. When we were watching the first 10 minutes, it was stuttering. It was like, like it was. There was video, but the audio was unbearable.
It was
And
such a bummer too.
It was, and
Yeah.
then it kind of like took away from what happened in the show because we didn't really get the words and why Barry left. We know that they went on vacation, but we didn't really know what Breacher was talking to Cisco about. Like there was a lot of stuff
Key
in
moments
those.
that
Yeah.
we kind of missed out on. But, hey, that's why we have the chat. If it was going through for you guys, please, we'd love to, you know.
And if we say something that was talked about in those first 10 minutes, please let us know in the chat like that so we can continue and learn and figure out what was happening because we weren't able to hear it. But all is well. We see that Barry and Iris, they're just going on vacation. They're ready to
Yeah.
peace out. So what do you guys think about having a Iris and Barry less show?
For me, it was nice because that they're dealing with so much stress with Barry dying. So it was cool to see them go and have their time off and be with one another. We didn't have to see it. We just have to know it happened. And, I'm a huge fan of Cisco. So to see, just have him in this episode and really focus on him, I loved it.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is why I say I'm down the middle with this entire episode. great that we get to see an episode with Cisco. Love it. He's amazing. I've always been a huge fan of him as well. High five, please. Yes.
Yeah.
But we keep missing out on Iris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
They must
true.
be saving something really big for us because it's been like 2 or 3 episodes now where we don't have a lot of Iris. We don't have a lot. Like, we did get a little Joe a week or 2 ago, but her man is like dying, and we're not seeing anything of her and how she should be handling it. And it's strange, but I just gotta like have faith in the writers that something good is gonna happen later on.
Yeah, no, 100%, because like we're wanting something from Iris, and in those 10 minutes they did talk about how they were going on vacation, so she could have said something along the lines of, "Hey, we need this because he's leaving," or something along the lines of like showing that she's trying to use this as a way to deal. But we haven't seen that or heard that, so hopefully we hear something because I need some more from Iris as well.
We did miss out on a very cute kind of throwback. Unfortunately, that like we didn't get to see it. Hopefully, you guys did. And this is why I always say pay attention to every little detail. But there was a nice little reference to when Iris was cooking for Barry for the very first time, and like she just couldn't get anything right, and so he's like, just give me a banana, and that became like their joke of as like a funny thing. I think what had happened, she had asked, "Hey, what's your favorite food?" And the Barry AI said banana. So,
See,
nice little moment, but
See, when you said that, I thought you were talking about how they were in their Hawaiian like outfits again, because I think the last time we saw them in that, didn't their vacation get cut short? I think they got.
Was that last season?
Yeah.
It was either last season. It wasn't the beginning of this season, so it had to have been last season.
Okay.
Their vacation kind of got cut short, and they had to come back. So right when I saw them in that again, I kind of thought, oh, we're kind of making up for our honeymoon or vacation or whatever they were on in the first episode.
That too.
So that was like a nod to that. So
but did they have to like leave? Did we have to do it for this episode? This is like episode 3 without Iris. I'm like, I need my Iris.
I know.
Especially with that hairdo.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know.
A little bit
Drew, one of our panel members as well, was tweeting about her hairdo because Iris was rocking a new hairdo. It was curly. It was down.
Great.
It looked great. She looked amazing.
Natural, man.
Drew called her a snack. Someone else called her a full meal. You know, I'm just trying to call her number. So let me know. I mean, I think it's the season of cuffing. I need a girl. Iris, what's good? Barry's leaving December 10th. So what's good? Other than that, they kind of left the show, or they kind of left the episode, and it was more. We got to see more of the other characters. We got to see a lot more of Frost, that's for sure. But how did you guys feel about Frost? So like we see her kind of go off on her own. She doesn't go with Team Flash to go off and get rid of Ramsey or take out Ramsey.
Right.
She just goes by herself and does a Lone Ranger type of role, and she blames herself for it. So do you think it's her fault in general?
Do I think it's her fault for like missing out on like trying to save some people? I mean,
do you think it's her fault because she blames herself that innocent people died? Do you think that she's right in blaming herself because she said she knew from the jump that he was bad and she didn't do anything even though Team Flash was his form?
Because she is one of 2 people that share the same body and mind. So like it's a constant, not battle, but it's a constant back and forth of like right and wrong, what to do, yes or no. So like she's, I imagine talking with Caitlin and she's getting the better side of things of saying, hey, no, I know this guy before things. So like benefit of the doubt type thing. Yeah, I mean, Frost would have probably jumped the gun and could have saved some people, but she would have also killed him. And I don't think that's the way the show needs to go, especially knowing that he's like somewhat of a big baddie for this season. It would have been too soon. I think it's just another kind of, not plot twist, but ploy to put together some of these characters with this massive cast that we do have. You know, so we have to pair up people. And like we got a nice little pairing of Ralph with Frost. And, you know, we got to see somebody else come into the picture too.
Yeah, I don't think she's to blame. I think that she's just kind of going through a variety of emotions because she's for the first time really living her life. I did like that she said, you know, I do know who he has faith in, and then it turned out to be Kate. And for her to be smart enough to put that together and to have Kate come out and try and talk to him was a really smart move.
Okay, and yeah, and that, I was going to say, that leads me to my next question because we see her go to Ramsey as Caitlin, not as Frost. Why did she go visit him? Why? I know maybe he trusts her, but obviously he didn't. He tried to kill her.
I think.
So why why did she go?
I think to see if she could talk any sense into him whatsoever, because she's known him for so long. She knew his mom. She knows kind of where he comes from. So maybe to kind of talk him down versus
it's a last ditch effort, you know.
Yeah.
Before it escalates, and I mean, the lines have been crossed, boundaries have been broken, and you know, if Kate can't get through, and now he's at this point where you know the blood has taken over more of him than Ramsey. You know, next time someone's gonna have to kill one another. It's just setting the stakes, really, for like what's happening next, which is kind of cool. Now that we bring this up, I actually did not like that. Just Caitlyn came out of nowhere, but hearing what you guys have said, I realize it's setting the stakes for something like someone to die.
Yeah,
Ramsey.
I mean, it's funny that you guys thought that she was just trying to find the good in him still, because Frost was saying that there's no good. She should have got rid of him from the jump. I thought it was really just Caitlyn and Killer Frost trying to ploy Ramsey to find out what his plan is, because she knows she can't talk good into him. He's already killed.
Well, they kind of already know what his plan is. I mean, he's already said that to Barry, what's going to happen, what's going on. Like, he needs to kill people and have the adrenaline in their blood so that he can continue to survive.
I mean, that makes sense. I just don't see why she would go there to try to talk to him. He's already killed people. At this point, it's time to just lock him up. She's not going to go there and talk to him and then be like, all right, you're right. Cuff me up. Like,
that's true.
It just didn't make sense for me. So that was the only reason I could think.
Yeah, like, what was her end game to all that?
Exactly.
Yeah, there was no end game. And that's also why I said I'm so down the middle with this episode. It was an unnecessary scene. I think the whole Ramsey in this episode was completely unnecessary.
I agree with you. I'll let you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. It was completely unnecessary in this episode. It was just to kind of have it there and continue the story. But you're right. Why didn't Kate handcuff him and put him away? Because he's already committed so many crimes that... I don't know.
I was going to say, I don't know if I mentioned this in the overall thoughts, but I didn't really like the episode for the simple fact that they put us... I mean, they told two stories that didn't need to be told. I don't think the Killer Frost Ramsey stuff needed to be told, because I just thought it was filling time. The same way with Joe and Nash. I thought that was just filling time. Yeah. I joked around saying that they're best friends just because they bonded in the tunnels, but wasn't necessary. We'll get into that later. But I want to know from you guys in the live chat, what's going on with Caitlyn? Do you guys actually think, or Killer Frost, do you actually think she was there to talk sense into him? Was she there to plot against him? What was Caitlyn / Killer Frost doing there? And just leave it in the comments, because we love hearing like what you guys have to say, whether through the live chats, through the comments. So just continue to let us know.
Yeah, speaking of the live chat, just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys for supporting us here at AfterBuzz TV, also known as the ESPN of TV Talk. You guys are amazing. You really support us with all these after shows. We have so many after shows for you guys to check in on. Just make sure that when you're watching us, you hit the like button, you subscribe, you comment, and if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, make sure to give us 5 stars so that we can keep coming back here to talk to you guys.
Yeah, remember that. I need 5 stars. All 5 of them.
All 5.
Yeah.
5 of them. So let's get into the meat of this episode. The real, like, what this episode was really about. Cisco.
Yes.
We see him dealing with what we see as sleepwalking, almost cutting his hair, which is kind of ironic, because it seemed like not to jump too far, but it seemed like the other Cisco kind of had his hair cut as well or something. Either way, he was sleepwalking as well. And then Breacher comes in while he's asleep with his girl and finds out that his ex-love has passed away. So there's a lot of emotions. Cisco's dealing with a lot of emotions. He goes to find out everything that's going on with that. What was while he's with Breacher, he finds out that Echo is a person that actually killed Gypsy. What was your original thought when you guys saw the face of Echo?
I was immediately like, there's no way Cisco did this. There has to be some other explanation, I immediately went to maybe it's a Cisco from another Earth because
Yeah, me too.
yeah, you just.
I mean, they called it out in the episode.
Yeah.
And then for them to just be like, you know, Breacher to be like, no, I know all the other Ciscos, to just try and throw it aside.
Yeah.
It was too good to be true.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree with that. That was more my hope though. Throughout the whole episode, up until he said, "I am the only one that can make this code," which was like probably 3/4 of the way into the episode. I thought it was just him sleepwalking.
Really?
And it was just for the simple fact that they put everything in there. It was like, yes, I was sleepwalking. They showed him sleepwalking. They even like, I'm the only one that can do this. There's no other Cisco on any other Earths that could be doing this thing. So there were so many things pointed at him. Cisco, like, even pretty much admitted to himself, it was me. Even though he was losing faith in himself. And faith was a huge word that was throughout this whole episode. That is the theme of this episode. And if you didn't catch it, you were not listening. But speaking of faith, like, he didn't have faith in himself. So that's why I thought he was the killer throughout the three. I had hope just like everybody else, but that's what they were showing us. So I was like, maybe he just did it in his sleep, and I don't know what the meaning of it was, but that's what was happening.
You know, they really like toyed and taunted us a little bit, and like they like pulled the rug out from underneath us. I really thought this whole episode was going to be something completely different from what we saw in the preview, and it really it became a different type of episode. You know, it was more of a cat and mouse as opposed to like this like murder mystery type episode. I agree with you. I thought we're going to have this whole sleep psychosis thing where Cisco's dealing with doing things, and like it started with him sleepwalking a little bit, and then it started with him like cutting his hair, and you know, he could have done something with those scissors, you know, he could have murdered somebody else, and it would have been so cool to see it escalate that way, but it took a turn and went completely different. You know, they did the doppelganger thing again.
Yeah. Well, it would have been devastating, okay, if it had actually been Cisco.
100%.
I don't think I would have been able to handle that, honestly. Just because he is the best. And for him, even while he's sleepwalking, for him to do something like that, no. Not for a minute did I believe that. Because, yeah.
Well, someone else who didn't believe that was Camilla, and she was Cisco's rock throughout this whole episode. To me, it seemed like she was the Iris to Cisco's Barry, if that made sense.
Yeah, 100%.
She was there trying to pretty much be the faith because he didn't have faith in himself. So what did you guys think of Camilla in this episode? Because we haven't seen Camilla in a while. She's one of those characters that come in, pop out. Yeah. She was in this episode, and she was in it throughout the whole time.
Well, it's cool because a lot of when we were introduced to her last season and then like the beginning of this season, it was a lot of like, oh, Camilla and I are doing this and we're doing that, and it's very much like, whoa, like you guys are like, you live together now, or like sleeping over together. Like a lot of relationship we haven't seen, so now we actually get to see them, which is cool. And there's a lot of playing with words as well and how deep into this relationship they are. I enjoyed it because it allowed for Cisco to bleed, like you said, be his rock, but it was a throughway for Cisco to kind of fall into place to become the team leader of the Flash. You know, we start off with the episode with him creating an AI that mimics Barry so he could have someone tell him what to do. That's not what Barry wanted from you. So it's nice that, you know, like Iris to Barry, he has someone to fall back to and have faith and trust in himself to be the team leader. So that's who she is, and I enjoy seeing that if we need to replace Iris and Barry.
You know, this whole episode, I was torn because I love Gypsy. And now we have Camilla in the picture. Camilla is somebody we don't really know. Up until today, we didn't really know her. Didn't really like or hate her. She was just there. But they make you love her in this episode just because of how supportive she is. You can see that she's listening to him because she understood him with all his science talk, and she managed to figure it out, which was really cool. So they're showing that they are right for each other. But while this was all happening, I was kind of like, I was not very happy because of Gypsy, and I love Gypsy, and she was so good for Cisco. So I guess in the end, what Cisco said was true, that Gypsy kind of helped him get to where he is now to be with Camilla.
Yeah.
So,
and that just kind of solidifies, like, hey, this is who Cisco will be with.
Yeah, this is it.
So was it important for Gypsy to die then?
No.
Oh.
Not at all.
she did not need to die for him to get here. I mean, they could have done it with her alive.
The chat and Twitter, all of social media has. That's been the talk of the entire episode mostly. Like, why did she have to die? Obviously, the actor is off doing another show. Kind of hard to do 2 shows in one.
Yeah, but
it was necessary. I'm gonna let. In my opinion, it was necessary.
Go ahead, let's see
because for Cisco to grow, he has to deal with something. He needed some kind of push to be the leader. You can only have so much faith for Camilla. You needed something there, and that was his something.
It was like Barry's mom or Barry's dad or like Barry losing.
You need to face that type of adversity to find your best you.
You're right, though, because the fans felt so strongly about Gypsy dying, so you know she was the right person to kill off for him.
Exactly.
Well, the fans were also so strong about like them being together. Like, we didn't like when they broke up. It was unnecessary for them to break up.
Completely
Outside
unnecessary.
of the fact that the actress moved on to something different. They were good together.
Her dying, not only did it bring Cisco and Breacher closer, we learned that. It kind of bumped up Camilla's role because we saw Camilla stand in, and not only was she being the rock, she was being the rock for him in the death as well, saying, no, I want to go to the funeral with you and be there. So like, it kind of gave us an interest in her as well, and kind of closed the book on that, because it was always in the back of his mind, and it was always in the back of our mind because we love Gypsy. And I think it was necessary. I love the actress, but it was necessary for her to lead in this series, for this to happen, for us to fully be Camilla fans and to root for them. I think it was needed.
I hate that you're making sense. So there's that. We have Libby B26 in the chat saying that they feel like the cast has been sidelined and that Cisco really had no one on hand to help him throughout this entire episode, which I think is true. Honestly, if you think about it, he had Camilla, but nobody else in the team, everybody else was too preoccupied with other things. So,
I'll let you go, because I kind of think it was more or less it was his thing, because if he needed to recruit, say Killer Frost, say Ralph, even Barry, if he needed him, he could have contacted him, because he did contact them and tell him that Gypsy was leaving. I think it was more or less of he wanted to go there by himself anyways. He didn't even want Camille to go there. So I don't really think that he needed Team Flash in this instance, but there are times where it's like, why is the rest of the team just chilling when...
Well, I don't totally agree with that, because even though he wanted to go there by himself, nobody really knew what he was doing or where he was, and I didn't like that. They are a team, and they need to be working together and talking about things. So they were all... I mean, Frost was busy with Ramsey, and you had the Joe and Nash thing going on. Ralph was helping them. Barry's on vacation. Like, so Cisco was alone.
I don't think it was really Cisco's alone. It was just kind of another day in the life of Star Labs. Not much going on. Cisco did become a CSI assistant agent in the previous season, so for him to come on and do something like this, it's not like, hey, assemble Team Flash, we need to see who killed Gypsy. It's more of like, I was with her, this is something for me to bring on. I'm honored to go and try and help figure this out. They didn't even have to bring him on. It could have just been an episode of like, hey, Gypsy died, by the way, someone else did this, and that was that, you know?
Yeah. And then even like...
We don't need to see Ramsey again in this episode or like further the Nash plot just yet. This was a Cisco episode only.
And to go farther with that, at the end, Barry and Iris literally say, do you want us to go to the funeral with you? And he was like, no, Camilla's going with me. So it was more like this was his thing. He needed to deal with this as Cisco. Cisco needed to grow. He needed to grow as a person. I think that's why this storyline was just for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
But some of the chat's torn. I got Romeo Lopez still. They threw Gypsy under the bus. She could have been just busy doing her own thing. I agree, but I disagree, because like you said, he needed it for the growth. It was closing of a chapter.
I mean, I feel like that's just too weak, because like I don't want another character that's just on a different Earth doing something.
Comes and goes. Yeah.
Like I'm still upset about where's Jesse Quick, where's Harrison Wells from Earth 2. We don't know that because Barry and all them haven't said anything. So that's why true. I don't like the whatever the word is. I don't like the idea that you can just have characters on a different Earth and not think about them. they're people. Let's talk about it. They're still related, or they're still emotionally attached to these characters that we know. So I needed Gypsy to die. I need to know what's going on with Earth 2 as a whole. So there's so many plot holes.
It was necessary closure.
Yeah, it definitely was. But before we get off the Cisco and everything, we saw him kind of vibe again. It was artificial vibing, but we kind of saw him vibe. Are we going to see a real vibe in the crossover?
Was it artificial though?
Yes.
Because
right?
Breacher lost his powers, but somehow was still able to, like, it's remnant there. Like it's not being suppressed.
Well, I'm saying artificial as in like they forced it.
Yeah,
but like,
I know what you mean, but like that means really anybody could have sat in that chair and like vibed.
Vibed, yeah.
You know, someone who had the powers in him, it means it's still encoded in his DNA somewhere, which means it wasn't cured. It's just being suppressed.
So do you think he would be vibed in coming back soon?
I think so. I would like to say yes.
Well, okay, so I'm torn. I'm torn because if you had asked me before today what I think, I would have said Vibe needs to come back, end of story. But today, seeing Cisco use science to help him do the things that he was doing as Vibe, and, you know, to see him as this nerdy person who just is so good at this stuff, and he's in his element. It was nice to see that. And I know we've talked about that a little bit before. But yeah, I was really enjoying seeing Cisco in that element. And Vibe kind of takes away from that a little bit. And he can still do everything he could do as Vibe. So I don't know.
Does it take away from like the impact of what happened last season of him curing himself?
Maybe. I think it does.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think that's why I'm sticking with we're not going to see Cisco Ramon, Earth 1 Cisco Ramon as Vibe anymore, because it not only did he take the cure, but like you said, it takes away from the whole reason we were invested last season. And I hope
goes back to what I was saying last episode about like kind of, not that I want it to happen, but like the show ending.
Yeah.
Like if Barry dies, like I don't need him to come back because of some like little loophole or something like that, you know?
Yeah, we want to be invested. We want to have like
we want to.
I know. I'm saying
episode, like these episodes, they're really giving it to us. Like
when I say I want to be invested, like I don't want to be invested in Cisco like taking the cure and then 3 weeks later or the next season, oh wait, it was not even worth being worried about. So then now going forward, we don't really have to worry about people dying, people taking cures, because everything can change.
Just change.
So that's why I say I want to be invested more. I want to be invested, and then there be consequences.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because I feel like this season is either going to make or break a lot of things, just because Barry's going to die, and then he's not going to die, and Vibe is gone, and then maybe he comes back. So it's like you're saying, it could take away from a next season, unless this is the last season that we just don't know about.
Yeah, so we will see, but we know this is... Oh, were you about to say something?
No, I just was going to kind of backtrack a little bit to a very good point by Libby B26. The last scene when Cisco says he's moving on after death, and Iris says because he's in love, mirrors Iris falling in love with Barry after Eddie. I saw that, and I was just like, oh man, that's a like amazing point. Gotta throw that out there. You guys are awesome in the chat. I love reading what you have to say.
Facts. And it's just another parallel between Iris and Camilla, Barry,
it's really
and
setting up where
Cisco.
things
It's just
start
like,
to go.
It's great, and that is the part that I did love of this episode. But another part that I didn't love of this episode was the Joe and Nash, the best friends that I didn't need. and it was like
best friends though, really?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was like frenemies. They were there. We see Joe West going in the tunnel, following Nash Wells because this is the first time that he's heard of him. So he's going in there trying to figure out who he is, what he's here for, all that jazz. Things happen. They get stuck
about it.
Yeah, they get stuck in the tunnel. Things happen. There's 48 minutes. There's a timeline for them to lose air and everything. So
it was all too forced.
I know
It was a little forced.
And you know what else was forced? All the faith that
I don't know.
Nash didn't have. No one had faith in this whole episode.
Yeah.
But they made sure that we noticed that no one had faith in this episode.
That's true.
Like what?
Yeah.
What was did you understand the point of that scene, or like that whole? Did you gain anything from that? I feel like
Nope.
No.
From what, the faith aspect, or from the scene
No, from the
Nash
scene
and
from Joe and Nash.
You know, I loved the monologue Joe gave. He's killing those this season.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely a tearjerker, I guess you could say. But other than that, no, it was kind of pointless.
The only reason why it wasn't pointless was because up until this point, Nash doesn't know that they're really dealing with the Monitor, that they had physical contact with him. He just knows that I'm following this Eternium, whatever, I wrote it down last time. He's following this, like, measurement of something, and it probably has to do with the Monitor, and he doesn't realize how they connect. And now he figured out, oh, you guys have talked to him, and that's why he's so much more invested with Team Flash and saving Barry Allen.
Yeah, and like I said, I was not about this whole scene. It's always great to have Joe because he always drops nuggets for us. Either we're learning from it or we're crying from it. And today it was both, and I loved it. But I just didn't feel like it was necessary. No. I didn't feel like neither him or Nash grew from that scene. Their scene together. But I mean, at the end, we do see Nash saying, I know how to save Barry.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Team Flash can trust Nash?
Yeah, I think so, because I think that Nash has no reason to lie about that. He's kind of got his own agenda that we don't really know much about yet. So I don't think he's trying to mess with them and their team and their whole things. So yeah, I think we should believe that he thinks he has an idea.
Yeah, I feel like up until this point, Team Flash can trust him. I mean, history shows that the Council of Wells are always in it for themselves first before something else, and if it benefits them, they'll go with it. I see why this Wells is no different. To piggy off of my predictions of last week, though, who the Nash becomes. I think maybe I don't know how the two pairs, because he does, I think, definitely turn into somebody else that brings on the Anti-Monitor. So
it was cool to see Wells at Star Labs again, though, just for that minute.
As I say, it was definitely cool, but I gotta go against you. Against you guys. I don't think you can trust him. And for the same reason you said, he has an agenda that we don't really know about. I don't think he's telling Team Flash everything in his agenda, and I feel like there's still more to come, more for him to tell us, more for us to see, and we haven't seen really anything of it. We see him searching for something with the Monitor, because we saw his, the hologram of him, but we don't really know anything. So I don't trust him. That's where it is right now.
I mean, you always start off not trusting Nash.
Yeah.
I mean, Wells.
Yeah, and then, like you said, we're gonna see a different version of Wells, or it might be this version of Wells in Crisis. What is his name again? In Crisis is
I had it last week and it's escaped my mind.
Well, let us.
Pariah.
Pariah. Yes.
Pariah.
Yes. So we're gonna see Pariah, but we're gonna see different. I mean, we don't know if that's Wells from what Earth he's from. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Chris Maley was just asking, was Nash's Earth vaporized? I mean, we don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't tell us. So there's so many things we don't know, but we might be getting a different version of Wells. We might be seeing different things. Who also we might be seeing is in our news. I don't want to take away from the news. Shiksha got some news for us. She's about to drop the tea. I just spilled the tea, drop the news, everything.
Yes.
It's all you. What's in the news?
News and gossip. All right, guys. So, let's start off with Lila. So it was confirmed that Lila Michaels in The Arrow will suit up as a harbinger for the Crisis. Will it be Earth 1's Lila, or will it be a Lila from a different timeline? Let us know what you think in the comments below. What do you guys think?
I'm going different timeline as well, and that's what I was talking about with Pariah.
Yeah, Pariah and Mars.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they're both from a different timeline. When I saw that, not only did I think it was dope because I love Lila and I wanted to see more of her, but I thought it was a different timeline.
Pretty on point with the costume.
Yeah,
I would say.
I'm super pumped.
Happy with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm excited.
I'm a big Lila and Diggle fan, so seeing any more of this, and
you mean Green Lantern?
That's what I was about to drop. I was like, if we get a Green Lantern, if we get a Jon Stewart, your boy will be screaming around the studio, just pumped up. So I hope that one. But what else you got?
So Rotten Tomatoes released the 5 scariest characters on comic book television. And yes, The Flash made the cut. Well, characters from The Flash. We had the Reverse Flash, was actually one of the 5. And then you also had Ramsey Russo with his blood brothers as part of that. So I thought that was really interesting that we made the cut for the 5 scariest characters. Do you guys agree that the Reverse Flash and Ramsey Russo are 2 of the 5 scariest?
Oh, definitely Reverse Flash. I mean, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Season 1, he just like killed it for like so many mind games and just
I love Reverse Flash. I feel like there's been so many layers because at first I got worried. I was like, okay, they're bringing him back. What really else can he do? But like just last season, we're working with Nora and everything. There's just so many different layers of how bad he really is, how evil he really is. So I love him being casted in this, or being picked in this. Ramsey? My guy's been in like 4 episodes. Like
he hasn't even transformed. We don't even have his actual like character bad guy name.
Like he was looking like elongated man like 2 episodes ago, rock climbing and stuff. Like I didn't like that pick. I like the other one.
Okay, fair enough. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. And finally, we have Stephen Amell, who is the Arrow. He was on the set of Crisis on Infinite Earths, struggling with a hammock on the set as Arrow. His caption was, "Crossovers are hard." I just thought that was really funny. You guys need to watch this little clip. It's coming.
No, but I love all the behind the scenes that Stephen Amell. You said 1 second? Oh, no worries. And that is our producer in the booth. If you just hear another voice as well, would you like to say hello? Yeah, but no, I love seeing all the different behind the scenes that Stephen Amell is sharing, that Grant Gustin sharing. I feel like everybody
Melissa,
on team,
Bonnie,
like everybody from Black
it,
Lightning to Flash to Supergirl, they're all sharing their fun times together because at this is
how can you not?
This is like going back to high school. There it is.
There we go.
Oh, no worries.
It's coming.
Yeah, my guy is struggling. For the people that are listening, we are watching Oliver Queen, Stephen Amell, struggling in a hammock on the set of Crisis on Infinite.
Dressed as the Arrow.
Dressed as the Arrow. And it is great because we all know Stephen Amell, Oliver Queen is known for being strong, not having problems with the hammock, let alone...
I know, right?
Guy does a salmon ladder, but he struggles with a hammock. So that is definitely funny.
We actually have people in the comments saying that Zoom is scarier than Ramsey, and it's weird that they didn't pick Zoom instead of Ramsey.
100. I mean...
Don't agree?
No.
I agree that
Sorry,
I agree that he's scarier than Ramsey, but that's not
scarier than Ramsey. Sorry, but not scarier than
Reverse.
No, but scarier than Ramsey is one of the 5.
Definitely scarier than Ramsey, but that doesn't take much. Like one of the scary bad guy of the week was worse than Ramsey so far. We haven't seen much of Ramsey, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But that's the news. Appreciate it. Now
Lovely.
Let's get into some meta tweets.
Meta tweets. I love that. Awesome. Guys, we had quite a bevy of similar tweets tonight. For those of you who don't know what this segment is, Meta Tweets, we like to go on, watch, and see what you are all live tweeting to the show. So, come up with some cool captions because we might actually feature you for the night. To start off, we had a lot of people talking about Candace's new hairdo. So we have Lila at West Iris with 2 S's. Iris West Allen invented beauty, and you can't convince me otherwise. Hashtag the Flash. Hashtag West Allen. I was in love with her hairstyle tonight.
Yes.
It's bringing it back to roots, all natural for her as a colored woman. I love it. For some reason, the show has liked to whitewash her a little bit, so this is awesome that they're doing this. It's great. We have another bevy of pictures by Dickie Corey's daughter at Iris Knowles. Imagine looking like this. Just imagine it. I can't. Hashtag the Flash, and we got some great photos of Candace yet again.
Looking like a snack.
Looking like a snack, even with that face with the side eye, which he was given to Barry. Now we gotta
look like a mad snack.
Mad snack. And now we gotta turn for the worst what everyone else was tweeting about tonight's episode. We have Jay Ruman at House of Hastings. I don't like that they killed Cynthia to give Cisco a story. Very disrespectful, in my opinion. Hashtag the Flash. I gotta say, when I was seeing the storyline, I was not happy with seeing Gypsy go this way, especially because they just vaporized her. It wasn't even a worthy death. I mean, come on. And it seems like a lot of you guys out there did not agree with this as well, and was very upset. So, we're on the same page. Good looking out. And then the last one we got here, Christina A with a heart and a flash symbol. Pretty cool. C Garza at C Garza 1027. If you think I'm crying, you're absolutely right. Hashtag the Flash. And this was a very, very sad scene. You know, the writers just know how to pull at your heartstrings. And the actors, man, they are just dialed in every time when it comes to someone's death. Cisco getting to show off his acting chops here. And man, he got me. Like when he figured out like that, this is where she died. This is it. And I was just like,
yeah.
God.
When you're the last tweet before this saying it was disrespectful, when you read that, I was like, it is disrespectful. But then when I saw it also made us feel, it made us hurt. I was like, why would they just kill her off like that? Like just vaporize us, like we can't even have a funeral. But that means we're invested. So so I was like, it kind of was a good thing that she, as bad as that sounds, it was a good thing because it made us invested more. Yeah. So it's like it's hard.
And that is Meta Tweets for you guys, where we get to check out your live tweets while we're watching. So keep it up. We love featuring some of you guys, and just keep adding us and tweeting at us.
Yes. Thanks. Continue tweeting us because we love hearing from you guys. But we're almost out of time. Before we leave, though, we got to hear the predictions. What's going on, Zach? What do you think? Ooh.
It's the old school predictions.
Yes.
I like that.
Predictions.
Predictions. So
Zach, what you got for us?
Next week we got an episode with Ralph and Barry, and those episodes always seem to be a lot of fun. And it looks like it's a play on James Bond. I don't think it's going to further the story too much, so I think it's going to kind of be a nice little filler episode before the holiday season start coming around. We start getting into the meat of things. So you know what? Honestly, my predictions next week, I think we're just going to have a fun time. Ralph, Barry, Alan kind of detective episode mixed with James Bond. It's going to be cool. Nobody's going to die, and
it's going to be chill.
It's going to be chill.
Baddie of the week.
Yeah, we could do Baddie Week. Switch it up a little bit.
We'll see. Can I just say that I'm in heaven because Cisco and Ralph are my two favorite characters, and we get 1 week of Cisco and another week of Ralph. I mean, yes. So anyway, I'm very happy about that. Regarding predictions, do you guys realize that when Barry saw all the different possibilities in the future, he said, in order for everyone to stay alive, I have to die. So what if somebody else died? What if everyone doesn't stay alive? Somebody else has to die, and then he can stay alive. That's just another option. Have you guys thought about it?
I'm missing that.
So is that your prediction, or are you asking us?
Because all this time we've been saying somebody has to die instead of Barry, and we're thinking it could be the Kid Flash, right?
Yep.
But when Barry came back after seeing all the possibilities, he said, in order for everyone else to stay alive, I have to die. So if you have these million people, somebody else has to die.
Gotcha.
Not in place of Barry, just die, and then he can stay alive.
Gotcha. So you got somebody
anybody. I think we're looking at this the wrong way.
All I'm saying is that prediction was vague because you said anybody could die except Barry.
I'm just saying that
it takes away from the entire plot line of this.
No, but I'm saying that we're approaching it the wrong way, right? Because all this time I've been thinking it's gonna be Kid Flash, Flash, and now I'm like, oh wait a minute, it could be anybody. It better not be Cisco or Ralph.
Yep.
It could be one of our new characters like Allegra or. Well, I don't think they'd kill Camilla, so...
Yeah.
It has no stakes. Look, Barry has to die. That's
all
it is.
We'll see. I mean, hey, that's a prediction. So I got, like I said, Nash, I don't think he's telling us the full truth. I think there's a bigger agenda. I don't think it's evil. I just think there's a bigger agenda, and he just doesn't fully trust Team Flash, and that's what it is. For Vibe, I don't think it's going to be Vibe from Earth 1. I think it's going to be a Vibe from a different Earth, and I think Cisco's going to stay in that role where he's just the tech guy, the funny guy, and kind of leading from the Office type of role. And the last one is, I think Camilla is going to join Iris and Allegra and kind of be the Team Flash adjacent. So with their with their office and with their their journal and everything and newspaper. I think they're going to use that to kind of break the news, try to find out everything, and be the Team Flash adjacent, just kind of be upfront with it. So those are my predictions. Please let us know in the comments what your predictions are for this next week's show and for the season, for the rest of the season. And we love hearing back from you guys. But before we leave, where can they find you guys? Shiksha, you first.
All right, you guys can find me on all social media at I Am Bollygirl. That's IAMBOLLYGIRL. And on 6 different after shows. This one, you have The Good Place, Legacies, Orphan Black. What else am I on? The Voice, and also the Bollywood Beat if you're interested in Bollywood news.
Bollywood,
love it. Nice. And guys, my name is Zach Silverman. You can find me all across social media at Zach with a CH Silverman 2. Almost forgot how to spell my name there.
Hey. We need it. Hey, and I actually changed my Twitter handle just to get rid of the underscore. So I had to remember that part too. If you guys want to follow me and talk about anything from superheroes, comedy, because I do all that panel, macaroni because I love macaroni, just follow your boy at Jeff Will Jr. No underscore, just at Jeff Will Jr. on all your social media platforms. And we appreciate you guys as always. Please join us next week, and we'll be right back with you guys. Have a great week.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.